weekend, but we've got another Panthers Pretend Draft. I told you we're going to do a mock draft here on This Team Is Killing Us each and every day leading up to the NFL draft. We'll probably go through round one as well because the Panthers, we believe, are not picking until day 2. So let's dive into it. We've had some very different drafts, right? We've traded up into round one. We've acquired a first round pick and moved back with our first pick. We've had a different first pick each time, too, which has been a lot of fun. So let's dive into today's mock draft and figure out exactly what it is we are going to do. We'll hang tight until 33 today, even if one of our big guys falls down the board. And again, for anybody that hasn't seen my list, it is Dallas Turner or Brock Bowers falling below 20 will make a move to go up, or any of the big 3 receivers falling past 15 will make a move to go up. All right, so far, board seems to be going to form, and I am guessing we're going to be in line for a center here unless we get a offer. Xavier Worthy off the board. Look, moving back 5 picks to get a first round next year. I said this the other day. Coming off of a year where there is no first rounder, to have 2, that is worth it to me. So we will slide back, especially if we're in the center market. Yeah, we're not going to slide back again. Jackson Powers Johnson, he was our first pick at our very first mock draft. He is going to be the first pick here. We're going to take pick 39 as well. I don't love the wide receiver options. Let's do something different. Let's do Adisa Isaac from Penn State. Isaac is a guy that is getting a lot of respect from people in this draft. A draft where, by the way, the edge class, every time I read something new about the edge class, there is a little bit less enthusiasm than there was before. So now we hang tight until pick 65, and we've got to get a pass catcher of some sort. Obviously, the Panthers need a wide receiver, but if they can get an established tight end, which I think is probably our best option right here because I don't love Roman Wilson, let's go with Ben Sinnott, widely regarded as the number 2 tight end in this class behind Brock Bowers, sort of a natural pass-catching type. Not the weapon you're hoping for, obviously, so that means we're kind of like back against the wall, gotta go wide receiver now at number 101, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I've been saying all along, this is a really deep draft class. I think the way that wide receiver is taught at the lower levels of football means that we are just seeing deeper receiver classes than we have ever seen before. And so many teams have guys that they got in the 4th or 5th round as their alpha receiver. Why can't the Panthers be another one of those? This is a haul, but Johnny Wilson is sitting right there to take. I think that's what we have to do. I mean, that's a lot of picks that the Saints were offering, but Johnny Wilson here, I think, is more valuable to the Panthers than picking up a bunch of dudes in rounds 5 and 6. So we'll go ahead and take that pick there. And now we wait until 141. So we have our big 3 needs met: a center, a wide receiver, and an edge rusher. We got our tight end. Now really we're going to watch how the board falls to us, given how deep we went into the draft before we took a wide receiver. I think we've got to take another one. I would not be opposed to taking another edge rusher as well. It's just going to be a matter of how things fall to us at this point. By the way, have you noticed there have been a little bit less trade activity in this draft? No offers here again, so let's go add another piece of the puzzle here. Could take a corner. Could take another wide receiver. Let's go ahead, though, and add a safety in Tyke Smith. We do need bodies in the secondary. I think that Georgia secondary produces some really NFL-ready dudes. Now, since we have back-to-back picks, we can go get that other wide receiver in Javon Baker at UCF. UCF guys are starting to learn what Auburn guys learned a long time ago, which is Gus Malzahn is a very innovative offensive mind, but he would rather be in the cold, dead ground sometimes than throw the ball. For us as an NFL team, that actually works out pretty well because you have these really talented dudes without a lot of tread on the tires. That's the good side. The bad side is you don't really know how good or bad a product you are getting is until, you get them into an NFL camp. But I'll take a flyer on Javon Baker in round 5. Like I said, I do want to walk out of this draft with 2 wide receivers, given how late we waited to take a wide receiver in round 4. Now we just hold tight. Let's take a look at what we've gotten so far as we hold tight for pick number 240 to pop up. Wide receiver, offensive lineman, a center, an edge rusher. We got a tight end, another wide receiver, and a safety. At 240 at this point, I'm just kind of looking for where is the value. In the past, I have gone out of my way to add a tackle in these drafts. I think at this point, just to do something different, I'm going to take the best available offensive lineman, even if it's a guard, even if it's a second center. At this point, I don't want to walk out of here, given what the woes of the team were last year. I don't want to walk out of here with just one offensive lineman. I don't think that serves Bryce Young or the team's best interest at all. And as we look at the way the board is falling right now, Nathan Thomas from Louisiana is a guy that we have added in the past. And that gives us a tackle, but, the best offensive lineman on the board is from LSU and Charles Turner III. So that's who I'm going to add. A center. So we walk out of here with 2 offensive linemen, both of them centers, and more bodies for the middle of the offensive line. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. We talk so much about what Bryce's struggles were last year that we forget the run game struggled as well. So there you go. There's the end of our mock draft. You can see everything that we walked away with here. Jackson Powers Johnson at 38 was our first pick, and that came as the result of trading back, something that came with a first-round pick for next year with Tennessee. And coming off of yesterday's mock draft, where we picked up a first-round pick from Seattle, I actually think the Tennessee one will end up being higher. So I'm pretty happy with what we got here. Maybe if I had to do it again, maybe I would go Xavier Legette over Adisa Isaac at 39. But overall, I like this haul. And I feel like you have 5 guys, our first 5 picks, that I would expect to be contributors in week 1 to this team. Whether or not they're starters, I don't know, but certainly contributors right away.